Hello everyone, Sandi here. Today we're doing a VR to Robin over at Toadstool Tarot and the hashtag beautiful tarot backs. Now, I'm a sucker for a beautiful backing on any deck, and it often kind of sways me if a back is if a back is horrible and the rest of the tarot deck is lovely, then it doesn't really matter too much. But if I'm on the fence about a tarot deck and the backs are really beautiful, then often I will be tempted to buy that deck because of the beautiful backs. However, that's only until I get my priorities straight, I suppose. In any case, I have a bunch of decks with beautiful backs, and I thought, I know that the tag says tarot backs, but I couldn't help myself, and I've thrown in some oracle decks here as well, actually quite a few. But I thought we could start out with the tarot backs and then continue with an oracle portion at the end. And then you can just pick and choose if you're only interested in the tarot backs or the oracle backs. Then you can just jump from one or the other part in the video, so to speak. Anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna get started, and I'm just gonna grab the one closest to me. I have not put these in any type of order. I'm not sure if that's what was intended with the tag. I have not rated them or put them in any type of preferential order or anything like that. I just went to my tarot shelf and picked out, quick and dirty style, the ones that I could think of in the moment, because I'm having a bit of a difficult time health-wise at the moment, and I just wanted to sit down and do a really relaxing type of video that I could have fun playing with my cards for a little bit. So without further ado, again, let's start out with the tarot decks. First up, I'm going to show you the backs of the Spirit of Woodland Tarot by Nicole Stone. This is a fairly new deck in my collection. I backed the Kickstarter for this, and here are the beautiful backs. The way I wanted to do this was to show you the backs, and these ones has this kind of gold, but also at this gold kind of foil fairy ring, mushroom ring on the back, and I absolutely love these backs. So what Robin did in his video was that he showed the backs and then a few cards from the fronts. I'm gonna do it this way, so I'm gonna leave the backs on the side here, and then we can just flip a couple of cards from the front so that you can see both of them at the same time. And this deck is, like I said, very new in my collection. I haven't really had time to get to know it yet because I'm currently, the world card is pretty. Let's have a closer look at that. I do have a full walkthrough, first impressions on this deck on my channel that you can have a look at if you're interested in seeing more from this deck. From one thing to the other, here's Squid Cake Marseille Tarot. This one is super cute, and the backs are very adorable. I absolutely love this little strawberry pink and the pastel greens of this deck. It's The backs are, yeah, they're very, very cute, and I love the like pink gold like edging they've put on here as well. The cards themselves are also in the same colorway. They're super cute, and it is of course a Marseille deck, so they have pips for minors. But this deck is absolutely adorable, and I love reading with this deck. And also, come on, frogs and snails and stuff for the nights. I love it, adore it so much. So that was Squid Cake Tarot by, oh, sorry, I forgot to say the name of the creator, Jess Roller. She's got a really, really good Substack as well, so make sure you go and check that out. All right, next tarot deck whose backs I wanted to show you is the Be With Your Body Tarot, and this is by Sarah Jane Chapman and Sarah Strese. I don't know how to pronounce that. But this one has a limited color palette, but I really adore these colors that they've chosen. The color scheme in this deck is just up my alley, and I love here that we see botanicals and mushrooms, and it's just I love it. And for the fronts, we have a minimalist kind of artwork, but I absolutely adore it. And it's a very different type of deck, and I use it for very specific type of readings, and I adore this deck, to be honest. I can't remember if I made a walkthrough of this deck when I received it, but I can recommend a really good walkthrough by Project Refined Life. Is a channel here on YouTube who has a really good walkthrough video and a video about how they work with this deck, and it's actually that video that inspired me or convinced me to take a chance and get this deck. So yeah, definitely check out Project Refined Life for more information and pictures and everything about this deck. So that was Be With Your Body Tarot, and let's move on. The next deck I'm going to show you for the beautiful backs is the Gaian Tarot, and I have always really loved anything floral on the backs or kind of botanical in any way, but these backs are just, I can't really, it's just something about the light in the emitting from the center, and then the kind of wreath type thing here with the, I think it's lavender maybe. Either way, I really love these backs. This deck is very emotional, and it's kind of, it's cheesy and beautiful at the same time, and then we have pictures like this that just kind of takes my breath away. We have cheesiness in like the Lovers card and such. Here we've got some joyous otters, and they are just yeah, this deck kind of spans it all for me. Like, I love the aces in this deck, but then we have Temperance, where get more of the cheese factor, where it just feels like a really, yeah, cheesy 80s 90s kind of poster. But then we have the Eight of Water that just, I don't know, it just speaks to my soul. And it's just, some of the cards are absolutely gorgeous, while others kind of rub me the wrong way, but I suppose that's the way with most tarot decks. Am I right? Anyway, so this is the Gaian Tarot, and I do have a full walkthrough of this deck. Not this specific deck because this is the out of print Llewellyn version. The walkthrough I have is with the current mass market version from Schiffer Publishing, I believe. Schiffer Red Feather. So yeah, that's the Gaian Tarot. Next up, we're going to have a look at the Tarot of Strange Antlers. That's the English name, loosely translated. The deck is actually in French, and right now I cannot remember the full name of it in French. But I wanted to include this because I absolutely adore the artwork, and the backs are no exception. This back art just gets me every time. I have trimmed, full disclosure, I have trimmed this deck and I have edged it myself, so it does not come with these green edges, and it's slightly larger when you get it. So this one here, I cannot remember the creator's name, but I will try and remember to link it down below. This artwork, it just speaks to something deep inside of me. It is such a beautiful, wild deck. And the artwork, like I said, it's kind of got this, it is a watercolor art deck, and I believe black ink it looks like. But it's just, I can't explain the feeling that this deck gives me. It just feels raw and real, and for some reason very it's like it's intense and magical. It's difficult to explain it, but whenever I hold this deck and look at artwork and do readings with it, it's an intense experience for sure. So this is the Tarot of Strange Antlers by a French author whose name I cannot recall now, but I will put it, if I remember, here on the screen. Next up is the Tarot, or the Stolen Child Tarot, excuse me, by Monica L. Knighton. This deck is a very special one, and I absolutely adore it. Cannot get enough of this deck, to be honest. These are the beautiful backs of this deck. It is just so pretty. Can't get enough. All right, so let's put some of the cards down there and then have a look at the fronts. So here we go again with some watercolor art. I do have a weak spot for watercolor, but this deck is it's exquisite from beginning to end. Each card is just an absolutely stunning piece of art, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this artwork in that sense, because it just feels like whatever I say is just not going to be enough. But yeah, I hesitated for the longest time to get this deck because I was intimidated by just how different it seemed, and I wasn't really sure if I was going to get along with it. But honestly, so far every reading I've had has been just really really cool. So yeah, anyway, so that was The Stolen Child Tarot by Monica L. Knighton. Okay, next up is another Kickstarter deck that I backed, and it's the Animal and Botanical Tarot. This one is really new, or really new. It took a while to get to me because I had it backed together with some friends in the US, and I didn't get the box immediately after the deck was released. So for me it's slightly newer, but the backs, look at that, absolutely gorgeous. I cannot, it's just so pretty. Let me put it this way so you can just take in all of the gloriousness here. So pretty. Fully reversible and just gorgeous. So let's put this to the side and have a look at some of the fronts as well. This is, as the name suggests, an animal and botanical deck, and the artwork is absolutely stunning. I followed this, the development of this deck on Instagram, from the very first few images that we saw till the finished product, and it feels insane and magical to have it here in my hands. But unfortunately, like I said, I've been busy with a bunch of other decks at the moment, so I haven't gotten to know this deck very well yet. Cannot wait though, because the guidebook seems really good, and honestly this artwork is just stunning, absolutely breathtaking. And let's end on the Temperance card for this one. So that was the Animal and Botanical Tarot by Megan Ellis. Next up is a bit of an old favorite of mine, and it is the Lua Tarot by Marie Bento. Now, unfortunately, this deck is and has been for quite a while out of print, so I do apologize about that. But the backs are one of my all-time favorites. They are so clean and just so stylish that I just had to include it in this tag. So here we go. Let's have a look at some of the fronts as well. This is a black and white kind of collage style deck, but it's done in such a good way that you can barely tell that it's collage. It is an absolute beauty, and I definitely do not read enough with this deck. I love the cardstock of this as well. It's just, you know, most of the time I want a colorful tarot deck, so or at least some color. The black and white, even though beautiful, doesn't call to me as often as I might want to read with this deck. However, it does have its place, and I think it's actually one of the only black and white tarot decks that I have, or if not the only, I do believe. So one more. The star is so beautiful. Let's pull one more, and that's the Ace of Wands there. So that's the Lua Tarot by Marie Bento. And here are the beautiful backs once more. Next up we have the one and only Enchanted Forest Tarot. Or Tarot of the Enchanted Forest. I cannot believe I still mix that name up. Anyway, we have these beautiful foresty backs with the two owls. I adore this deck back. It's just magical and very nostalgic to me because this is one of my favorite decks. Oops, knocking things around here. And you will have seen this tarot deck a lot on my channel before. Absolutely glorious deck by Linnea Weatherstone and Marela Allwood. And I am currently waiting impatiently for the Oracle deck that they are currently creating for to match this or to go with this deck, and that's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Oh, this is one of my favorite cards of all time and it's just the dancing bears, love them so. All right, I'm not going to go through the whole deck, even though I want to. So that was Tarot of Enchanted Forest, Forest of Enchantment Tarot, whichever one that I cannot remember right now because I suck. But anyway, yeah, that was that. And those are the backs again. The Future Ancestor Tarot is one of the decks that I received from as a gift from my partner, and it's a very special deck because of that. This one is made by Lexa Luna Studio. The name of the creator in themselves, is Alexa Villanueva. And here are the backs. I love myself a clean and just minimalistic back, and this one is just, I don't know, it just speaks to me. And this deck is a beautiful linen cardstock. It's quite slippy because of that, so I have dropped it in on the floor a few times, but this artwork is very minimalist and very special. It does give you some new perspectives of the cards to think of, in my opinion, and the little guidebook is absolutely fantastic. I just really love the simple art style, like together with like these, I don't know if they're photocopied leaves or something. It feels like they are collaged in there, like real leaves, or if it's or perhaps they are leaves that have been painted and then printed on top of the paper. Either way, they are so beautiful, and oh, I love this hermit card. So yeah, that is the Future Ancestor Tarot. Next we have the Lord of the Rings Tarot. How could I not include this? The backs are one of my all-time favorites ever. They are so beautiful. I'm gonna put this on the side as well so that you can see the whole thing properly. It's so gorgeous. I love it. And this, I actually do not know the creator's actual name. It was bought from an Etsy shop. I cannot remember the name of the Etsy shop now, but I did receive this as a gift, as a birthday gift. So that's probably why I can't remember the shop name, but I will link it down below if you are interested. So let's put this on the side here so that you can also look at that while I show you some of the cards. Oh, this Emperor card is everything. I adore this deck so much. It's the only Lord of the Rings themed tarot deck that I have. I know that there is a few out there, but for some reason, and there's another one that's being made at the moment that I've been following on Instagram, but that one's black and white, and I'm a little bit upset about the fact that they chose to make it black and white, because the artwork is stunning, but the black and white is giving me pause, if I'm being honest. I'm still following the creation of the deck, and I might cave in and get it anyway, but I am secretly hoping that they will also release a colored version down the line. So yeah, this is the Lord of the Rings tarot. Oh yeah, and I think the name just came to me. Fix Art, so FICKES Art on Etsy. I do not know if they still sell these or not, but so it could be out of print. I don't know, but the backs are amazing as well as the deck. All right, the next backs I wanted to show you are the backs for the Slow Tarot by Lacey Bryant. She has recently reprinted this deck, so it is no longer out of print, or maybe it is by now, but I signed up for a waiting list to be notified when this deck was back in print, and I'm so glad that I did. Look at these backs. I love the little teacup over here and the moth, all the intricate like leafy and leafiness and flowers here. So gorgeous, absolutely stunning. I am planning on this doesn't have any gilding, but I am planning on putting gold gilding on this myself, just because I feel like it deserves it. So here are a few of the cards from this deck. This page of coins is so cute. This deck is actually a bit more modern than it's usually my style, but for some reason it works for me because it's oil painting, and because it also has some cards that I don't know, it's just some cards also bring me that thing that I need. Like here we have the star card, kind of, I don't know, it's it kind of balances between what I really dig and then the modern stuff that I tend to shy away from in decks. But this Chariot is one of my absolute ever favorites on the bicycle there. So pretty. And yeah, so this is the Slow Tarot by Lacey Bryant. And the last tarot deck I have to show you is the Self-Love Tarot. So this deck has one of my all-time favorite backs, actually. It is... I've got such a weakness for moon phases on things. So when you have a gilded moon phase on a back of a tarot card deck, I am all in. It's so silly and so cliche and yeah, a bit corny, but I do adore these backs. And I am intending to put gilding on this deck as well. So here we go. Here are some of the card fronts, and these cards have gilding on both front and back. Oh, we've got a card stand around here. There is quite a lot of nudity in this deck. Just so you know, but it's kind of a cartoonish nudity, so I hope that's okay. I love this Ten of Swords here, so pretty. I like the quirkiness of this deck, and I love how all of the characters have hairy legs and hairy armpits, and they're just there just as they are. And I don't know, it's a very fun and cute little deck that I really need to use more often. So that's the Self-Love Tarot by Hannah Tricoire. I do believe that's how you pronounce that. I don't know. All right, so now we are going into the backs of oracle decks that I really adore from my collection. And we are starting with a deck made by my very own good friend Krista, also known as Krista Chronicles here on YouTube. And she made this beautiful deck called Divine Ephemera Oracle, and the backs are absolutely stunning. I adore this kind of dark garden kind of vibe that we get from these beautiful cards. Let's have a look. So this is a collage type deck, and I cannot get enough of these images. They are so, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of atmospheric, that's the one. They're so atmospheric, and I really enjoy, just the overall feel of this deck. I do not, unfortunately, work too much with deities, but I'm really hoping to get into that in the near future. It might not be for me, but either way, I do use this deck just to get the feel from the cards, you know, and the florals and the people, and yeah, it's such a beautiful deck. All right, so that's the Divine Ephemera Oracle by Krista Kiadish. I don't know actually how you pronounce your surname. You need to tell me one day. The next deck I wanted to show you the backs of is the Heart Align Affirmation Oracle by Kimberly M. Tan. This deck is so special to me. I adore everything about it. And it's got the cutest little holographic backs you've ever seen. Adore so much, and we've got the same kind of holographic gilding on the sides here, but we are here for the backs today. So these cards are basically little affirmations, and it's got this holographic kind of spot gloss heart here on the front as well, kind of giving you like this tactile feel on here. And this deck has really helped me out a few rough spots. I adore using this deck when all I need is some comfort and grace in my life. So this is the perfect deck as well to kind of keep by your bedside, for example, if you just want to pull a quick card before you go to sleep. I also use this deck in conjunction to my journaling, and yeah, beautiful cards. So that was the Heart Align Affirmations Oracle by Kimberly M. Tan. Next up, another indie deck, Wild Whiskers Spirit Animal Oracle by Faina Laura. One of my all-time favorite animal decks. Absolutely adore the backs of these with the anatomical heart and the flowers. It just, you know, does something. Love as well the black backs, the black edges. And then we have the artwork itself that just really goes with everything. Love using this deck for just either simple one card readings or using it in conjunction to a tarot card or for journaling. Oh, this one's actually upside down. This one works so well with, you know, also just setting the tone for the day. So I often use this as a just a one card pull before I go to work in the morning, just to kind of find an energy to focus on for the day. And yeah, really I love this deck so much. It's been having a little rest on my shelf for a while now, but I think it's time for this one to come out and play again. So that was Wild Whiskers Oracle by Faina Laura. Here we have two Oracle decks by Maggie Black. She's got a third one out as well called the Dream Travelers, I believe. And I was on my way to buy that one, but then unfortunately other things happened in my life that I needed to prioritize, and I just didn't have the funds at the moment. I'm hoping she will do yet another reprinting of it at a better time for me, but these decks both have the most beautiful backs. I'm going to show them at the same time just to speed things along a little bit. So these are the backs for this deck. I adore these two decks so much because, like I said, sucker for trees. And this one is equally beautiful here with the backs from the Secret Garden edition. Here are, how am I going to do this? Let me, and like that maybe. Yeah, so let's take a look at some of the fronts as well. I really adore these decks. They are so pretty. I kind of prefer handling this one because it's got a very special kind of shape, but when reading I really like this one because I can see the pictures better. But either way, two glorious decks by Maggie Black, who has a like a blog type on, is it Wix? I cannot remember now, but she's also got a YouTube channel that you should definitely check out. She's got beautiful forest and tree content, and her blog is really good as well. That was the Tree Whisperer Oracle, the original version and the Secret Garden edition. Next up we have the Hollow Valley deck of symbols, and this is the first edition, I believe, and these are the gorgeous backs. So this is one of the few like I said, black and white decks that I've got. But these backs just get me every time. I do not know if the second edition has the same backs. I actually wanted the second edition because the second edition comes with a much better guidebook in my opinion. But when I bought this secondhand from a Facebook page, they didn't actually specify if it was, I didn't know that the first edition guidebook was different from the second edition guidebook, which I found out when the deck arrived, and I was very not very upset, but very kind of disappointed, because the second edition the second edition guidebook has a breakdown of each of the symbols on the card and what they symbolize, what they mean. Whereas the guidebook for this version only has a little write-up for each card. I was specifically drawn to this deck because of the breakdown of the symbolism. So yeah, that kind of disappointed me quite a lot. So I suppose I'm still looking for the Hollow Valley deck of symbols second edition. If there's anybody out there who would like to trade, let me know. Anyway, beautiful deck. Love the simpleness of it. And the backs, like I said, gorgeous. Oh, and the creator here is Erin Alice. The next deck I wanted to show you is the Illuminated Earth Oracle. I'm sure you've seen this before, but the card backs on this deck is one of the first card backs that I ever fell in love with. Absolutely adore these backs. And this deck, by the way, is by Claire Mack. She also has another deck called the Faceted Garden that I unfortunately do not have yet. However, it's been on the wish list for quite some time. The artwork here is very unique. I absolutely adore her style of artwork. Sometimes it is a bit jarring because this is how most of the deck kind of feels. Very kind of abstract, kind of floral, landscapey. But then we also have cards that kind of move away from this, where we suddenly have portraits with animals and yeah. So I sometimes, like this one has also kind of bothered me because it feels like it doesn't really go with the rest of the deck for some reason. But yeah, that being said, absolutely gorgeous artwork through and through. This is not ugly, that's not what I'm saying. This is also pretty. I'm just, I don't know, something about it. But the backs, one of my all-time favorite backs of all time, I think. So moody and atmospheric, and I love it. All right, so that was the Illuminated Earth Oracle by Claire Mack. Next up is a deck that's actually out of print. This first edition version is out of print, and it's called the Wicca Pack. It is still in print, but under a different name and with different backs and different cardstock, and it's called I think it's called the Witch's Wisdom Oracle, if I'm not mistaken. Hang on, I will double check that. No, the newer version is actually only called the Witch's Oracle, but I received this as a gift and I absolutely hated the cardstock. I tried to trim it and it just got worse. It warped completely out of shape. So when I found the old edition secondhand on eBay for a very small price, I took the chance to get it, and I'm so glad that I did, because this one has the same cardstock and same size as the fairy pack that's also by the same creator, Sally Morningstar, and I absolutely adore Sally Morningstar's art style. So I decided to get the Wicca Pack, and I'm so glad that I did, because not only because of the beautiful fronts, but the backs are absolutely gorgeous. I love these backs so much. And here are some of the artworks. Oh, look at that. We got the the same picture as on the front of the box of the newer version. So yeah, this deck is still new to me, but I absolutely adore the artwork in this deck and cannot wait to start using it more. I actually really wish that I had a tarot deck with this art style, with Sally, that Sally Morningstar would have illustrated. I don't think she's actually ever illustrated a tarot deck. She's illustrated a fair few oracles, but so far I have not found a tarot deck. If you guys know of a tarot deck that Sally has illustrated, please do let me know, because I would be very interested in that. Oh, I love that. This one's so pretty as well. All right, so that's the Wicker Pack by Sally Morningstar. The next deck I want to show you is the Seed and Sickle by Fess Inkwright. Very popular deck about a year or so ago. Probably seen this, or actually maybe more like 2 years now. But the backs are absolutely gorgeous. I love them so much. And the thing that was very popular when it came out was to edge it with this kind of golden yellow color, and I was so close to using the same color on my deck, but I went with a kind of deep blue-green color to match the actual borders here, and I think I found a really good match. Right now though, I'm feeling like I wanted them to be yellow. Anyway, I will also show you some of the beautiful artwork in the front. I absolutely adore this deck. The guidebook is also very, very good. I really want to use this deck more. It's just I need to learn how to get past the fact that there are no keywords here, because honestly, I wouldn't be using this guidebook, this deck without the guidebook anyway, because the guidebook, like I said, is really good. There's actually 2 guidebooks that comes with this deck, one for the light messages and one for the darker messages, or like the more kind of negative, like reversed meanings, I suppose. Or it's not, is it reversed, or is it just like shadow kind of nighttime, daytime? I don't remember anymore. But either way, this artwork blows me away every time I look at this deck. And yeah, I kind of wish that there was a tarot deck with the same kind of color palette and art style to go with this. Beautiful. So that was the Seed and Sickle by Fess Inkwright. All right, the next one I want to show you is actually 2 decks that I have combined into one. So we have 2 different backs, and that's the Earthbound Oracle together with the Seeker's Lenormand by Skull Garden, A.L. Schwartz. There. And here are the 2 different backs. That's the Earthbound Oracle back, and then we have the Seeker's Lenormand back here. So slightly different, but still similar. Let's put them next to each other like that while we do some flipping of cards. So here we've got, these are from the These are from the Lenormand ones. Here we've got one from the Earthbound Oracle. I absolutely love this art style, and I really wish that I would get along with the... I really kind of want the tarot that they've done. The wooden tarot, I think it's called. Because all of these are actually painted on pieces of wood. I don't know if my camera is picking up the wood grain on the back there, but it's so beautiful. Unfortunately though, I've almost bought the wooden tarot many times, but every time I'm about to click the buy button, something holds me back and I just haven't done it. The images for the wooden tarot are quite special, and there is no guidebook, and I just find that the tarot isn't quite up my alley. However, these cards are. I really love these two decks, and combined into one I get even more of them. So, and I don't actually read Lenormand. Really, I don't know how to. So these cards here from the Lenormand, I just read them intuitively, kind of with my own, making up my own meanings as I go along, I suppose, together with the artwork. So yeah, but now we've flipped through quite a lot of these cards. So yeah, this is the Earthbound Oracle and the Seekers Lenormand by A.L. Schwartz, aka Skull Garden. There we go. Oh, this fox card is beautiful. All right, so we've got 3 more decks that I want to show the backs of, and the next one is the Green Witches Oracle deck by Erin Murphy Hiscock and Sarah Richard. So these backs, this deck is very new to me. Haven't really had a chance to use it more than maybe once or twice. But the backs are so gorgeous. I really do have a soft spot for black backs with like a colorful, you know, when things are drawn on black paper, I'm kind of weak for that kind of thing. It's so pretty. And here are the fronts, or some of them at least. This is a very cute little deck with a couple of keywords together with the title of the card here. Absolutely love the watering can. So pretty. Mortar and pestle. Moss agate, one of my favorite crystals. Yeah, so that's the Green Witches Oracle deck and the lovely backs. Next up is another fairly new deck in my collection, and it's the Jallarhorn Norse Oracle deck. This deck back is so gorgeous, or actually the whole production quality of this is amazing. Look at this hardback book, so gorgeous. And here are the amazing backs. Kind of the design choice goes all the way through the packaging and the artwork. This is fully gilded, has a matte gold gilding on the sides. It's so pretty, fully reversible. Oh, gorgeous. And I really love the way that there's kind of this dark blue, like lighter color in the middle, and then it kind of fades into like a black to the sides. So gorgeous. Right, the fronts are there are like 3 different suits here. So we have rune cards, then we have sigil cards, and then we have character cards. So there are, I seem to have mixed them all together. I don't think that was my intention. But yeah. And for those of you who are familiar with his work, you might also be able to tell that this is a Matt Hughes deck. Let me just double check that, just so that I'm not being silly. Yeah, it's illustrated and decorated by Matt Hughes. Concept and editing by Hope Hughes, and written by Gillian Christina. There we go. Oh, love Ratatosk. Alright, so that was the Jallarhorn Norse Oracle deck. Last but not least is the Tree Keepers Oracle by Angie Sullins and Stephanie Law. You will probably know from the name here and the art style that this is the same artist as for the Shadowscapes Tarot, which I also have, but not really the biggest fan of, to be honest. However, when I saw that they were coming, or that Stephanie was illustrating a tree oracle, I just could not resist. So here we have the absolutely gorgeous backs. I cannot get enough of this artwork on the back here. It's so gorgeous and so Stephanie as well, if you've seen her artwork before. I have still not really gotten to know this deck properly yet. I do think that I will get along with this one a lot better than with the Shadowscapes. Don't get me wrong, the Shadowscapes is beautiful. I just think that I prefer a more zoomed in art style for some reason when it comes to my tarot readings. But for oracles, I don't seem to be as picky. Love this artwork here with the magpie. It is gorgeous beyond belief. It is so pretty. So yeah, that was the Tree Keepers Oracle by Stephanie Law and Angie Sullins. Here are the backs again. And that concludes my little VR to Robin. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I had a really lovely time sitting here just going through some of my decks and admiring their beautiful backs together with you guys. I hope that you are doing well, and yeah, please take care of each other, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.